Okay, hopping on here to talk about some more immigration stuff. I want to talk about the alien registration requirement. So on January 20th, when President Trump took office, one of the many executive orders that he signed that day was called Protecting the American People Against Invasion. And this executive order directed the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, to ensure that aliens comply with their duty to register with the government under Section 262 of the INA, which is the Immigration and Nationality Act. And it said to ensure that failure to comply is treated as a civil and criminal enforcement priority. And so what it's saying is that the INA requires, with limited exceptions, that all aliens 14 years of age or older who are not fingerprinted or registered when applying for a U.S. visa and who remain in the United States for 30 days or longer must apply for registration and fingerprinting. The reason I'm talking about this now is because on February 25th, which was yesterday, USCIS updated their website and the page specifically talking about this alien registration process. And pretty much what they're doing is they're telling people that if you haven't registered, to now create a USCIS page or online account in order to prepare for what apparently is going to go live, which is the registration process. From what I'm seeing and what I'm reading, my assumption as an immigration attorney is that the U.S. government, the federal government, is creating some sort of, database to see who's here and who's here unlawfully. Again, this seems to be President Trump's way of just finding everyone and creating these mass deportations that he has been raving about. I can't tell you to register or not. I can just give you my opinion of what I obviously think that this database they're creating is being used for. But I can give you some more information about what USCIS said on their website, right? And you can go on the USCIS website to read this. But what it's saying is people who are already registered include lawful permanent residents, people who are paroled into the country. If you were issued an I-94 record, then you were already registered. People who were issued immigrant or non-immigrant visas prior to arrival in the U.S., if you've already been placed in removal proceedings, if you were issued an employment authorization document, if you applied for lawful permanent residency, and if you were issued a border crossing card, all of those people who have gone through any of those immigration processes have already been registered. And then people who are not registered include if you entered the U.S. or you're presently in the U.S. with by entering without inspection, admission, or parole. One thing that was interesting that actually comes up a lot are Canadian visitors who entered the U.S. at a land port of entry and were not issued an I-94 record, which happens all the time. You're not registered. So technically you would fall under this registration process. And Canadian visitors could actually come here, usually without a visa, and stay in the U.S. for a certain amount of time, right? So that's interesting that they explicitly put out that they are not registered. And then another line item that they have here of people who are not registered are aliens who submitted one or more benefit requests to USCIS not listed in 8 CFR 264.18, including applications for DACA, TPS, who were not issued evidence of registration. So they're also not registered. My concern as an immigration attorney is how this will affect future application processes that my clients may engage in. By that, I mean, if my client currently doesn't meet certain eligibility requirements for an immigration benefit, they don't register. And then in the future, they are now eligible because something in their lives changed. Is the fact that they didn't register when they were supposed to going to affect a favorable adjudication of the future immigration process? Does this mean they lack good moral character? I don't know. And that's really the concern I have. So take this information as you may. Go to USCIS website, read about it, talk about it, think about it. Crazy stuff, you guys.